What is up, everybody? Renfail here. It is early in the morning. It's about 3:45 a.m. I have not had coffee, but I do have a cup of coffee. Let's take a sip. I have bedhead, and we're going to sneak an episode of How to Make a Living as a Content Creator and Streamer in before my morning stream, I hope. I think. We're going to try. Sam761 over on episode 1 asked, my question is regarding both the hardware and software you use. Do you use a gaming PC besides your PS5? What software do you use to edit your videos? What accessories should I invest in? I'm interested in doing this for a part-time job. I'd like to know what I need to invest in to make YouTube and Twitch streaming worthwhile. All right, so if you're going to multi-stream, the first thing you're going to need is a pro license for whatever streaming service or machine that you use, a piece of software. I use Streamlabs. You can use like XSplit. There are a variety of options out there for you to choose from. When I first started, I was only streaming to YouTube, so I just used OBS. But when I wanted to move into multi-streaming, you're going to need a pro license to be able to stream to multiple platforms. Streamlabs worked the best for me. I'm not sponsored by them. This is just me saying this because it's drag and drop and plug and play. And it was really easy to set up. It's like $150-ish a year for the license, and that allows you to multi-stream to as many sources as you want. And they do support a wide variety of things. Like they support Kick, Rumble, YouTube, Vertical, TikTok. Like you can stream to a lot of different places and have them all plugged in. And then if you have, like I know, like for example, when I played Dune Awakening, I also streamed to the Steam page through Funcom. And so you could set up a custom ingress to send it to wherever you want to send it to, as long as you have the directions to send your stream to that location and the permissions to do so. So if you're going to multi-stream, you're going to need a pro license from somewhere. You can pick whatever you think is going to work the best for you. I have a gaming PC, I have a PS5, and I have an Xbox Series X. I could also add, I've been debating a Switch 2, but there's not really a lot of games on the Switch 2 that I want to add to that. And I also have a streaming PC, and that was something that I started doing. I didn't have a streaming PC until last June, a little bit over a year ago, was when and what literally I did was I bought a new gaming PC to replace my old gaming PC, which was it's about 8 years old now, and still use it to this day. That's my Streambox. So my Streambox is an 8-year-old laptop that I'm gonna run until, knock on wood, until it doesn't run anymore, and then I'll upgrade. I'll probably just buy a brand new gaming PC and take the one that's my new one now and turn that into the stream machine. But again, knock on wood, hopefully, we'll see how long things go. Um, so let's see here. Back it up a step. Streamlabs, you need a pro license for. We can talk video editing in a minute. Um, so in order to multi-stream, the easiest way to do this is you're going to need a capture card, because if you're on a gaming PC or if you're playing like with a PlayStation and Xbox, you're going to need a way to get that footage to the machine that you're going to be streaming from. Now, if you have you could also stream directly to Twitch or YouTube from your PlayStation or your Xbox, but you have to have specialty cameras and stuff set up. It's if you have a gaming PC already or just a regular PC, it's going to be easier to do it that way. But the way you get your footage from the PS5 or the Xbox to your main machine that's going to be doing the streaming is you need a capture card. Capture card is what takes the footage from a given device and puts it on the screen of the machine that you're going to be streaming from so that you can capture that screen and then play a game from it. So I can't remember if I turned on the Xbox. Give me a second here as I like turn things on. The Xbox is on. So as an example, I have the Xbox turned on right now. And if I click this button on Streamlabs, it's going to move to this screen, which is a pre-designed. And everything's on the same machine right now. And then essentially what is I'm recording on my machine, which is this screen, but then I can click a button, and now it's showing you the footage. And that's because on my main monitor in front of me, I have a capture window that is maximized, which is this window right here. I think if I don't know if it'll show it if I minimize the window, it may change the footage a little bit, but it doesn't actually it just changes the dimensions a little bit because I've minimized the window. But essentially, once you're in maximized, it looks like that. So that's what a capture card is. It takes the footage from whatever device you're using and puts it on your main screen monitor, and you then capture that window with the streaming software that you're using, which in my case is Streamlabs. Now, I also have a cool device called a switcher. Now, the switcher is really cool. Um, the capture card, by the way, capture cards are a couple $100 up to, I think you can spend up to like $1,500 if you need like a really high-end one. I don't have the internet bandwidth to support 4K streaming, so I did not need a high-end capture card. So I went with like a middle-of-the-road Elgato. It was like 350 or $450. It's been a couple of years ago since I bought it. I don't remember. Um, but you'll need a capture card. The switcher is very nice. So what the switcher does is essentially every machine I have is connected to the switcher. And then the switcher is connected to my capture card, and my capture card is connected to my streaming machine. So my gaming PC, my Xbox, and my PlayStation are all connected to this thing, and it's got 5 different connections, so I could connect up to 5 devices to it. This allows me to, at the push of a button, switch between. So let me turn on the gaming PC really quick, which is not on. We'll go back to this screen really quick. So right now I'm running the Xbox, and I could click this button, and it's going to switch everything over to my gaming PC. And now we're on the gaming PC. And if I had the PS5 on, I could switch it over to the PS5 as well. But we're going to go back to the Xbox right now. So this device allows me to very quickly and easily have a bunch of devices plugged in to the switcher, which then gets plugged into the capture card, which then allows me to relay everything back to my stream machine. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the gaming PC for now because we're going to be playing Xbox here in a little bit. What did you just do? Okay. Hang on, something is being weird with my... Well, I'll sort that out later. The capture, the switcher was like $50, I think, maybe 50 or $75. It wasn't cheap. It looks like a USB hub. It's just a box with a bunch of USB connections that go in, and it has an innie and an outie, essentially an input and output. And so everything gets relayed to my stream machine. So that's how I do all the streaming. That's how I get everything going to the streams. Film editing software, I use Filmora. I pay for a generic license with them, which is like $50 a year, I think. It is a very robust film editing software. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these people. This is just what I use. It can do a lot of things. You can do special effects with it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. I've been using Filmora for 3 years, maybe. Before that, I was using Sony Vegas Pro. I started with, I think, Sony Vegas Pro 8, and I worked all the way up to like 15 or something before I switched over to Filmora because Filmora was way more, it's easier. It's all drag and drop. Literally, it's all drag and drop. It's really cool. And they have a bunch of stuff that comes with the Pro license, but you can also, like, they have a shop where you can go buy additional things, and there are like things that get created and put up there that you can purchase. They have an AI tool, which I actually used for like captioning. So when I do my shorts for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube shorts, I take that short, put it into Filmora. I've added all my overlays and stuff, and then I hit a generate audio button, and the AI goes in and it takes all the audio and auto generates captions for me. It is, as we say in the old school world, it is tits. But occasionally you have to fix a couple of phrases, but for the most part, it works really good. That's my morning alarm telling me, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. But I'm already awake, so we got an early start today. I woke up at 2:30, and I just rolled into work. So I pay $150 a year for Streamlabs. I pay $50 a year for Filmora. I paid, those are annual fees, a couple $100 for that. It's all tax deduction. So then, my capture card. Capture card was probably the most expensive piece of hardware outside of the machines themselves. And in the early days, I didn't use a capture card. So if you don't have the budget for a capture card, you don't have to have a capture card. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, they all have apps that you can install on your PC, which will allow you to take the footage You could literally turn on your PlayStation as an example and stream that footage to your machine to a window that it's the window of the application. So you have a PlayStation app. I think it might have been called PS Play. I don't know if it's still around. I don't know what it's called these days. It used to be called PS Play, I think, or PS Now or something. PS Play, I think, is the subscription. I think it was called PS. Really don't remember. It's an application. Xbox has one as well. So you install the application on your machine, you link it to your console, and then anytime you play a game on the console, you can have that footage show up on your screen in that app window. So instead of having it be the capture card window, it would be the application window. The difference is that it's usually a lower quality than what you're going to get with a capture card. Capture card is going to capture at the resolution of, so if you're playing in 4K at 60 frames, that's what you're going to be capturing at. Whereas the app is usually going to have it locked to like 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames, as an example. The apps do have limitations, and they have gotten better over time. But I remember back in the day when I first started doing it, like the PS app, the PlayStation app would only allow you, same with Xbox, Xbox and PlayStation app would not let you capture footage at 1920 by 1080. So if you go very early on in my channel's history, you go back and actually see this on my channel, you'll notice that the footage that I was streaming, this is before I got monetized, um, this footage that I was streaming was 1280 by 720 footage because I couldn't actually capture it in 1920 by 1080. And then I think the modern machines, I think the Xbox Series X and the PS5 both have native 1080 capture. I don't think you can do 4K though. I think if you want to do 4K footage, you have to have a capture card. Um, and my capture card could capture 4K footage. It doesn't really support. I don't think it supports 4K streaming. Maybe it does. I don't remember. It's been a while since I bought the damn thing, but it works brilliantly. I really like my setup. Um, yeah, I mean, apart from that, I use Canva for my thumbnails. I was an early founder supporter of Canva, so I have been using Canva for like, it feels like it's been over a decade. It's been a long time. I started using Canva back when we were still doing our travel blog stuff. So it's been a very long time I've been using Canva, and I've just used them for everything. Um, these days I just use the free version, and then occasionally I'll pony up and pay for credits for a month or something if I need something specialty done, like backgrounds and stuff. But I've also, there's lots of other tools out there. I've used Photoshop over the years. I've used Lightroom. I used to have an Adobe subscription for a long time. There's lots of tools you can use, but these days I just use Canva for everything. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Um, And occasionally I'll re-up my Adobe subscription if I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit more advanced than what Canva can support. But that's honestly like when we were doing the tabletop stuff for a tabletop game, I did use Photoshop for about 8 months because we were putting together a PDF. And so I needed something that was a little more robust than Canva for just thumbnails. Um, but yeah, um, I don't really think I don't, that's it. I mean, I use a nice headset because I like to be hands-free. I don't like I don't want to have to be doing this with a mic. If you watch guys who use a mic, they're always doing this. They always have to pull that mic close to their face, and they always have to be conscious of where's the mic. Some guys, if they have the money, um, guys like Co Carnage have a really nice studio space where it's soundproofed and everything's perfectly designed to where they have the mic kind of sort of slightly off screen, and they don't have to worry about moving. They have a position that they're going to be in for 4 or 5 hours, and that mic is set up to where it's going to catch everything, and it's a soundproof setting where they can have that. I don't have that. First and foremost, I don't have the space to do that. And second of all, we're not willing to invest that kind of money at this location because this is like a temporary place for us because we're saving up to buy our big property. So whenever we get to the big property is when I will build out the streaming room. So in this place, I like the mic because the headset mic because I'm hands free, and this is a very nice. I mean, it's like $175 headset, And I love it because the cans are super comfortable. Like I can wear these things for 12 hours and never feel them. Whereas a lot of other headsets, after about 45 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, I'm like, oh, it's starting to make my ears hurt. And then I just run a filter with Streamlabs to modify the audio to be a better quality. And then you can do further editing in Filmora after the fact, which I pretty much do every time. I'll take this, when I put it into Filmora, I have some additional filters I'll apply to get it closer to what I want it to sound like. And one could argue that yes, you're gonna get a better audio quality from a boom mic. That's without a doubt. But I'm just not gonna go there. I'm not with this current setup, and I just really like the mobility of this. Because I can, I have a long cord. I could probably go wireless at some point, but I've yet to find a wireless that I like that gives me the battery life and everything else. So this works for me. I have a long. It's like a 6 foot long cord, so I don't really have to worry too much about it. I have two cameras. I have two webcams. I have one for when I'm sitting, and then I have another one I switch to when I stand up and go into standing mode. And when I'm doing my longer streams, I'll usually switch. I'll do about 2 or 3 hours sitting, and then I'll do like an hour or 2 hours standing, and then I'll go back to sitting if I'm doing longer sessions. But most times these days I switch. I usually do like 2 or 3 hours, and then I take a break and I go to the park and I do some push-ups and pull-ups and lunges and stuff. Come back, have breakfast, and then we go into the second stream. So I only use the second camera on the days when I'm going to be here, like locked in, which is usually launch days. Anytime I have a launch day of a game, I'll usually sit here for like 8 to 12 hours because the audience is there and it's a launch day and we're like going hard. And so it'll be like 3 hours sitting, 2 hours standing, 3 hours sitting, 2 hours standing, 2, 2, 1, 1, whatever my legs feel like, because I still have a leg injury that's bothering me. So yeah, um, you can have as many machines as you want. The big thing is having a capture card to take that footage and put it on your PC if you want the best image quality possible. Um, a switcher makes everything easy because then you don't have to. Because if you don't have a switcher, what you'll have to do, and this only applies if you have more than one machine. If you just have a PlayStation and a gaming PC, you're not going to need a switcher because you'll literally have your capture card connected to your gaming PC. That capture card will capture your PS5 footage. Your gaming PC runs all of your other footage, and if you're streaming and running everything, and if you're playing games and streaming games from that same machine, you don't need a switcher. The switcher is only useful if you have more than one machine going through your capture card. Um, that's useful. Or if you're going to have a dedicated Streambox and you have multiple things plugged in to go to the Streambox, you'll want a switcher. Otherwise, you have to deal with like plugging in every time you want to do something different. You have to unplug and plug in HDMI cables and USBs, and it's a pain in the ass. So I recommend that. I mean, that's really it. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Um, I mean, pretty much every single day is Streamlabs for the recording and streaming, Filmora for the editing and cutting, and Canva for my thumbnails. That is the day in and day out, and then the capture card and the streamer and the switcher, and of course my webcams. And some people will use. I think we put it back in its box. Some people will set up a DSLR. I do not. I use. These are several years old now. I don't even know what model they are. It's like the 922. Actually, I think Streamlabs will tell me. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me go up here and do the properties. The C922 Pro Stream webcams from Logitech are what I use. They're 1920 by 1080. Um, they work. It's not crystal clear. Like, I mean, if the lighting is perfect, I get pretty good imagery. But honestly, like 99% of the time, this is what people are seeing. Is this tiny little image of me? And a lot of my audience members are watching on like a phone or something. So me being in crystal clear, high definition, with a DSLR camera is not worth it. So I have a DSLR from my photography days, but I haven't bothered setting it up to be my main camera because I have webcams that we've used for years and they work, and they were, 150 bucks or whatever for the webcams versus taking my, really expensive DSLR and a nice lens and trying to get all that mounted and then dealing with the audio, and it's easier for me. It's just I have two webcams. I have one set up on a tripod behind, and I have one that's on top of the monitor. It works. So um, yeah, that's my setup. I did a video. If you want to actually see the setup from like the back angle and actually see what it looks like, I did a video on the. It's in the member section of the channel a channel members section here on YouTube. There is a video that I did a couple weeks ago when I got the new monitor, and I show the actual setup from over here from a different angle, so you're actually looking back at the setup, so as if the camera was behind me. Um, but this is my cockpit, and all the wiring is there behind everything. There's also a 45-inch smart TV behind everything that I've also used to use as a monitor, but these days it only gets turned on when we watch movies. And then I literally just will share screen. I just broadcast through Bluetooth to that monitor, so that we watch movies from my PC, but we broadcast it to the TV. It works, man. So, knock on wood, that 8-year-old Streambox is still going strong, and hopefully it continues to go strong. I am actively looking at something this fall, though, to like have on hand, like whenever there's a big sale, probably Black Friday. I'll get like a backup so that I just have something on hand. So, and probably move to it by the new year, even if that thing is still running. I probably will move to something new by the end of the year. Plus, I'll need to spend some money for a tax deduction. So, anyway, stay tuned. Keep the questions coming, and I'll keep getting them answered. Until next time, stay safe, happy gaming. Good luck, everybody who's building their business for the first time. Don't forget the previous episodes in the series. Links are down below, and I'll see everybody in the next live stream, which kick off every single day at around 4:30 or 5 a.m. Central on YouTube and Twitch.